Oh hey, let's do a video comparing the pros and the cons of the hardtop, the mesh top, safari top, no top. Jeep's a one-of-a-kind vehicle, and you have to take the top off when the weather permits. So sunny Arizona, and it's cooling down for the autumn season, and so now's the time we can get a couple months out of this. So let's do it. All right, here we go. So the Jeep Wrangler hardtop is composed of 3 big pieces and then a couple of goofy pieces. So you've got 2 freedom panels in the front, and then you have the rest of the hardtop in the back. So then you have these 2 weird twisty things in the middle roll bar and some Torx bolts that you have to unscrew to get the top off. Total of 8 Torx bolts to get the top off. So that's really all there is to it. Is you take off the freedom panels, you unscrew the Torx bolts, you unscrew these weird twisty things in the middle, and then you can theoretically lift your top off. The body color paint tops are super heavy. The black plastic top is not as heavy. That's really a summary of the hardtops in a nutshell. So what are the pros and cons of these? It's hailing outside, snowing, it's raining, there's blistering, Arizona sun. You're gonna do fine with a hardtop. All right, that's what it's meant to do, is repel the elements. It's secure. You can lock your things inside the vehicle. You can, even with the hardtop, take the freedom panels off only and just have basically a half top, or like the old T-tops in some of the 1980s vehicles. What are the cons? The cons are, like I said before, is that it's really heavy, and something I think nobody thinks about before they get a Jeep for the purpose of taking the top off is, where are they going to store it? Where are you going to put this massive thing while it's not in your Jeep? So if you have a garage, or if you have a storage shed, or if you have some place to put it, that's great. If you don't, where's it going to go? And then really the other, I guess the flip side of it is it's not open air. So it's like you're in any other vehicle, with the exception that it is kind of loud. Jeeps are kind of loud. Inside the cabin, it's not a quiet experience, especially in the JKs. It's improved a lot in the JLs, but in the JKs and earlier, I mean, driving a Jeep is a loud drive. So a lot of noise bleeds through. There's a lot of holes and just weather stripping between you and the elements outside. So it's a lot of sound pollution inside the vehicle. There's trade-offs, of course, but I bought one, so this is why we have Jeeps. So that is a summary of the Jeep hardtop. All right, no top. So no top is like the ultimate freedom. Woo! Check that out. You've totally open air, feels wonderful. People wave at you, like everybody, like that guy. You're in traffic, at traffic lights, everybody wants to check you out, see if they can see in your car, see you or whatever. You have people talking to you. It's a great experience with no top on. The question is, what are the cons? Well, it's loud and it's windy, and if it's not tied down, it's gonna blow around inside your vehicle. So you better get ready for that. If you go any faster than about 30 miles an hour, you can just count on everything blowing out of your vehicle. So there's no protection. There are some rain clouds today, and I don't have a top on, so it's gonna rain into my Jeep. So you need to be mindful of what could happen if you have no top on your vehicle. So you know, what the same thing that makes it wonderful and fun is the same thing that makes it slightly sketchy. Also, if you have any valuables in your vehicle, kiss those goodbye if you're in a not at home situation. You know, if you're out and about, you don't want to park your vehicle and leave anything valuable in it, especially with the top off. I mean, it's just asking to be stolen. So no top, while it's fun, it's not really that practical. If you're going to be driving somewhere like, you know, along a beach, or if you're just going to be driving straight through and you're going to be in your vehicle the whole time, or you're going to be like, you know, right near it, like maybe you'll park alongside the trail and just, you know, have lunch and then get back in the vehicle and keep going, something like that, it's going to be great and you're going to love it. And you know what, even if you get rained on a little bit, you'll still love it. It's going to be a great memory, so it's not that bad, not the end of the world. Also, you know, something that people don't know about Jeeps is that under the floor mats there are drain plugs. So you could submerge the Jeep up, all the way up to the air intake, you know, just below the air intake, and then, you know, if you can get it out of the water at that point, then you can just pull the plugs in the floorboards and it'll drain out, and you let the whole thing dry out and you're good to go. So Jeeps are built to take a little abuse and you recover from it and make it home, in theory. All right, next up we're going to talk about the mesh top. So here we go. All right, let's talk about the mesh top. It is pretty great. It's kind of my favorite top because you still get that open freedom kind of feeling. You can feel the wind everywhere. It's super easy to put on. It takes maybe 10 minutes. You know, if you've got, you know, everything right, it's great. And so you get all the same effects as having no top, but you get a little bit of sunshade. So, you know, in Arizona, the sun is blasting. I'm driving right into the sun right now. You can see it. It's like, you know, I kind of have to squint a little bit, but there's you know, you just get a little bit of shade. And in the wintertime or in the springtime, it's just enough. It's just enough to keep the sun off your face. However, it's got kind of all the same problems as no top. So I'm pulling out in traffic. Got to really get on it to get up to speed. There's this kind of a small gap. But anyway, yeah, it's loud. It's totally windy. You feel like, you know, you're totally exposed to elements, and there's no protection from rain. There's a little bit of protection from something flying in the vehicle. So it's slightly more than no top. I do like it a lot, and I roll with the mesh top a lot of the time. So this is the mesh top. I'll try and steer the camera up so that you can see it more. And yeah, I'll try to not jump the curb while I do this too. Okay, so no top or mesh top, do not get on the freeway. It is, yeah, there's a saying like Jeep hair, don't care. You're gonna care. It's gonna be so loud that you can't hold a conversation and you can't hear music. It's gonna be so windy that, you know, unless you have sunglasses on, your eyes are gonna get whipped. Dust is gonna fly into your eyes. So you gotta be very careful with no top or a mesh top. You know, if you're cruising around, if you're on a trail, if you're just in town driving, it's great. It's absolutely great. If you're on the beach, it's like the best time ever. So anyway, yeah, another reason why you love the Jeep. All right, so now next up, we're going to check out the Safari top. Here we go. All right, so the Safari top is a denser material. It's a blackout material. They call it black diamond. There's definitely no sunlight getting through, which is a bonus because now it's in the 90s today. It's a little too hot for the mesh top. Sun's a little too bright. You know, it's straight overhead. So it's not getting through the Safari top, which is great. It's a little bit more climate controlled than the mesh top or no top. And it feels more like an enclosure. So let's see, pros and cons. Pros are that it's super easy to store, right? It just folds up. There is a bar that goes across the front of the Jeep that kind of holds that holds it into the front windshield, and that's really about it. So you don't really have to worry about anything else. It's all self-contained. It straps down to the Jeep just like the mesh top does otherwise, and it's pretty great if you're in a little bit warmer weather than I would say like anything north of like 85. You probably want a Safari top. It's durable. Nothing's getting through this. Someone would really have to like cut through it. It still feels open. You still have the back of the vehicle open. It's, you know, you can roll down the windows and it feels open air. So it's a great option if you want something other than the hardtop. The cons are obviously you can still hear the traffic noise, still get wind noise. You don't get any wind, which is great. Nothing's blowing around inside the cabin, so that's a bonus. On the freeway, it gets a little loud. I have driven some long distances with it, but it did okay on the freeway. So, I like it a lot. I would ride with the Safari top most of the year. It does get dust that comes in, so you are cleaning your dashboard a lot. You're cleaning everything because it just gets dusty inside your Jeep. It's open for someone to steal things, so you have to deal with that. You're not going to keep anything out where people can see it, and the Jeep isn't really a safe environment just to have valuables floating around anyway. So, and you probably shouldn't do that in any car, but whatever. And I hope you like the video. All the links to all of these options, except for the hardtop, are going to be in the description. And smash that like button, hit subscribe, tell your neighbors, take your vitamins, and stay awesome. We'll see you next time.